Hello and welcome to Cathy Paints. I'm Cathy Wappel and I'm painting Reaper miniatures today. I still have those 3 Reaper models and the one that's, I believe it's a Raging Heroes model. And that's what we're working on today. Try to get as close to the table as I can. I am back from vacation. I had a week where I was up in Minnesota, and it was a fantastic week. I may mention that again later since nobody's here yet. Because I just started, nobody's here yet. So, should I talk? Should I even talk? I always have to fasten this cord for my headset because otherwise every time I turn my head it gets caught on things. So that's where I'm at. I'm also at the I'm drinking wine stage. It's Tuesday. Tuesday is my Monday. Cheers. So let's get to it. We have our wet palette because we're using Reaper acrylics. I'm using my clear paints. We all know how much Cathy loves the Reaper clear paints. And by clear, I mean, get rid of that. Clear yellow, clear green, clear orange, clear red, clear magenta, clear purple, clear blue, and then clear phthalo blue and clear phthalo green, which are different than clear blue and clear green. It's a different pigment. Still green, just different. And so I'm reaching across everywhere. Oh, and the golden yellow because so I'll show you the difference between these two yellows. Hey, real brush guy. Are you behind the ad? I put that Muppet there just for you. I hope you realize that. So these are my 2 yellows. You're just late? I see how it is. Uh-huh. Sibstorm says first. Not first, Sibstorm. Awfully close. Awfully close, though. And the brush guy was late. So. Oh, let's see. You can't. So if I tip this over so that you can see, it's just going to spill into my palette. See? He's adorable little Thulu here. Akin has your soul. Oh, Substorm's excuse is I just got the notification. So these are my 2 yellows. They have the clear yellow, which is very bright, clear, just light yellow. And this golden yellow. This golden. They don't make this color anyways, so anymore. They discontinued the HD colors. I imagine there's an equivalent yellow. Maybe Sebstorm knows which yellow that is. I can never remember because I don't have that yellow. This is the only warm yellow I have. If a yellow could ever be said to be cool in color, it leans more towards green. And I feel like that makes it a little cooler seeming. And this one tends more towards red. It's got an orangey sort of look to it. Well, so they don't make a clear orangey yellow. So that's why I'm using this. And I know it's riveting. I know. And they were experimenting They were experimenting with an orange phase yellow. See? But they decided that it was too close and decided it's too close to a color that we already have, which works fine. So they decided not to make it a clear paint. It is golden. It's still golden yellow. It's just not HD. Thank you, Sibstorm. Hey, Snowyak. How are you? I should always say just who gaat het. Or maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Is that like a normal thing? I'm just shaking my paint here. Like in my Duolingo app, they tell me that's how people, say, "Hey, how are you doing?" So I have to believe that. Captain Mizzy is here. Hey, Mizzy. It is absolutely normal. Bedankt. Bedankt for that, Snowyak. Oh, what was I learned a bunch of words today. Of course, they went in this ear and out the other. They went in this eye and out the other. They didn't rattle around in my brain for very long. So I learned words that had to do with health, like de pleister. I am stuck on band-aids because band-aids stuck on me. They will show up again, especially because once you complete the first part of a lesson, I think there's 5 parts. So they just review it 5 times. And then as you move on to different lessons, those words will appear in those other lessons too. So they do. And one of the things that I was struggling with is, for those that don't know, I'm learning Dutch, and Snowyak is from the Netherlands, so I can ask him questions. He can laugh at me when I say things wrong. De boerenjongen heeft een pleister op zijn blote schouder. What is blote? I don't know that. I don't know that word. You know what? It's funny. I know all the other words. The farmer boy has a band-aid on his naked shoulder. Did he get a vaccine? Is that why he got his vaccination? Bear. Oh, okay. Blote or bloat. A bee sting or a bee sting? Damn it. I learned the word for nurse and it has so many syllables. I totally forgot it. I'm like, damn, that's a really long word. And I don't remember. It's like for something. It's at FER, right? That it starts out, but I don't remember the rest of it except there's 2 E's in it and a couple of G's, I think. There's at least 1 G. Or ge. A ge. There's a ge. Misschien 2 ge. Maybe 2 G's is what I said. Okay, so I have my wet palette is wet again, and I have my fancy water reservoir. No, it's not. It's not that verpleegster. Reading a word in the wrong language. Yeah. So yesterday I was typing uh, to somebody, and I was saying something about a friend of mine, but I totally spelled it like VREIND. It's not even because I was doing autocorrect or anything. Hey, Pascal. But I did just type friend. Is everybody forcing Dutch lessons upon you? You can force Dutch lessons upon me anytime, Pascal. I I practice every morning. I I'm not afraid. No, I am. I am. I am afraid to make up sentences. Like I think I'm very bad at that. I can read them and occasionally understand it. Yeah, Snowyak is right. I'm forcing it on everyone else. That's that's the correct version. I'm forcing my Dutch lessons on everyone else. And now I have to like grab my no, I'm not gonna. So my notebook is over there. I write all these things down. Oh, I need to fill up my water reservoir. Enough of this chit chat. How are you, Pascal? I haven't seen you stream in forever. Not because you haven't been streaming, because you have. I just it's at times that are weird for me. So the word of the day is pleister. I just learned that word a couple days ago. Wait. What are we letting Cathy read? Captain Mizzy. Love you, Captain Mizzy. I miss you because I haven't done the podcast. I haven't been on the podcast for 2 Sundays in a row because one I was on vacation and then this Sunday, 4th of July, I was at my friend's because we always go there. And this time, everybody, well, we didn't last year, but this time we were all fully vaccinated. And oh my God, I almost cried. Like, I saw my friend Karen and I was like tearing up because it's been so long. Oh, you wanted me to read that, Pascal? Heb je een pleister? Pleister? Is that what I was supposed to read? Pascal, do you have a band-aid? Pascal says, ik heb geen pleister. I have no band-aid. Ja, ik heb geen bananen. Ik heb geen bananen. Vandaag. Missy says they ruined it. Yeah, I'm sure they ruined the podcast while I was gone. Yeah, I'm gonna have to whip those boys back into shape, Captain Mizzy. You are correct. Stoyak, Stoyak, that's an easy one though. Yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today. That's pretty easy. Not like there was. I was. I'm just gonna throw some colors out on the palette. I don't know what I'm doing with it. Pascal says ik heb radaisjes, hele mooi witte en rooi. Ooh, white radishes and red radishes? Oh, I love radishes. I'm just guessing. Radishes, radishes. Rad- uh, I've never seen that word before, and so I'm just guessing that it means radishes. Please tell me it means radishes. Or don't. Either way, I'll look it up later. Very pretty ones, white ones, and yes, I understood the whole sentence. Aw, I get 100 points? Thank you. Mizzy says Gonzo played MechWarrior terribly. I heckled him, so that was fun. Well, good though. Okay, I think I've shaken this paint enough times. I'm just gonna throw some paint on the palette. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. And you know, Snoyak says yes like that. It is from the same song. Is it really? I had no idea. I only know the banana part. I only have ever heard the banana part. Now paint. Now paint. Yes, sir. Ja, meneer Snoyak. Do you know what I read today that I totally, well, what I read today that I mostly understood? Let me see if I can find it again. What if, what if, no, that's not what I wanted. Is that what I wanted? Hmm. I don't know where to find that. How weird. So so my phone died when I was in Minnesota and I had to get a new phone and I'm still like learning my way around it. I wanted to go, here we go. So this is what I was reading. Botanisch Botanische Tuin de Jokumhof bestaat al sinds 1933. I don't know how to say like dates. So 1933 en werd gesticht door Pater Peter Jokum. Hij gaf les aan priesterstudenten en gebruikte de tuin om praktijklessen biologie te geven. So I don't know if that makes any sense. If I totally said it wrong or if you can understand that. It's Dutch, so I don't expect everyone to understand it. So wait V, hi. I am I shall do that. So I didn't look this up except for the word gesticht. Um oh, and the word werd because I didn't know like I don't know past tense words yet. Pascal got some. It's okay. It's okay. I'm rubbish. So it's a botanical garden. The Jokumhof bestaat al sinds 1933. 1933. Uh, so It's been there since 1933 and was, I don't remember what gesticht means. Snowyek says, now we know about the botanical garden that was created by a monk for biology lessons. See, exactly. So, hij gaf les aan Priesterstudenten. So I guessed it was he gave lessons to seminarians, to priest students. And he used the garden for practical lessons, biology lessons. So that was my guess at what it meant, really. And I feel like I did okay with that, not really knowing what a few of the words were. Okay, now I have to stretch because V has paid channel points for a stretch. So, let's just stretch a little bit here. We'll give. Hello there, folks. You may remember me from such commercials as Stretch Armstrong in the 1970s. Look at my ruggedly handsome jaw. He does have smoldering eyes, doesn't he, Sivstorm? He's very sexy. Hey, Mo! You got to pay the channel points if you want to see the stretch of Leaguer Dragon. Paid the channel points. Now I have to catch up with the chat because I was busy looking at this website. Joshua Depp, but thank you so much for the subscription. That is unexpected and very much appreciated. Thank you so much. I'm going back up the chat here so that I can catch up. But why paint? Asks Captain Mizzy. What kind of stream is this? Productivity is overrated. You guys, I have exactly one small piece of paint on my palette so far. So, good job, V, with the distractions. And everyone. V is watching the ad, so she missed that part. Asma says, why you kill phone? So, my old phone had been just getting really, really slow with everything. So, you know what? He needs some love with his legs here. We need some leg love here. You don't want him to moon you. He's like the Ken of stretchy things. There's nothing really going on down there. Although, I mean, he's stretchy, so you never know. So yeah, my phone was acting so weird. I was like, before it just completely dies outright, I better replace it. So I did. It's not something I wanted to do while I was in Minnesota, away from all of my passwords and whatnot. Brush Guy says it sounded Dutch. Well, thank you, Brush Guy, for that. The thing that I was reading earlier, it sounded Dutch. I am happy because it was supposed to be Dutch. So I will take that compliment. Brush Guy says, I will go there on Thursday to the botanical garden in the Netherlands, in Stale, I think, is the town. Mizzy says, we are also already less than 100,000 channel points to stop Gonzo being weird since he cheated. He totally did cheat. Wait, nut house? Nut house? Gesticht, gesticht as a verb. Yeah, gesticht as a verb. Founded. Thank you, Pascal. I know I'm way behind in the chat now, but thank you for that. I couldn't remember. And Esmo is kindly telling me I need to stretch the legs too, and I didn't even need a reminder for legs. I like to do a little bit of a leg and arm, get the leg and arm going too. And you can't just do one leg and arm. You have to do both of them, right? You gotta do both of them. So I think stretchy. We're good. Look at those smoldering eyes, though. Yep. Mo says, "Hi, Cathy. I've not seen a Stretch Armstrong in a long time." Okay, now I feel like I'm closer to the end. Someone should make an animation with that face. What with Stretch Armstrong's face? Zipstorm says, "I'm just saying he's probably been at a swingers party or two." Yeah. Oh, you know it. You know what? This is the Stretch who's out at the swingers parties. This is Tiny Stretch. Not to be confused with Tiny Cathy. That's a totally different thing. So Tiny Stretch, Tiny Stretch used to have shorts. Our Tiny Stretch, he's been through a lot. And he's definitely been to some swinger parties. Yes, yeah, thanks, V. She's painting my minis. Don't worry, Sibstorm. I also paint them when I'm not streaming, so that I might actually finish them. Worry not. Still. Oh, hey, thank you for hammering that bot. Asmo still wants to be famous. But you just have to move faster than the band hammer, Asmo. Tiny Stretch and his cute G-string. I know, V, right? And he had the same shorts as regular Stretch, only they're painted on instead of part of the rubber, like dyed rubber. They were painted. So the paint just sort of came. Once I started stretching that one, the paint just kind of came away from the rubber. So, yeah. You want. You're so kind, Brush Guy, to offer Asmo a chance at fame. There is an even tinier. Oh, that's right. There is a tinier Stretch Armstrong, and I feel like I need that in my life. I feel like I need the even tinier Stretch Armstrong. You want it like you want the plague? Are you a Nurgle fan? Because I feel like in this chat, saying you want something like you want the plague, it could go either way, really. Okay, I'm caught up with the chat. Now we can paint some more. Or at all. Or for the very first time. Oh! World's smallest Stretch Armstrong. His eyes are not nearly as smoldering. I feel like I might have to repaint the face. And he has got some crazy eyebrows. It might be fun for a repaint. Just the face, obviously. Kind of want that. I kind of. Let's just leave that up here so I can find it later. All right, so these are the 4 models that I've been working on. We have the Air Genasi, or this model is what will represent the Air Genasi character. I guess I need to make this brighter. It looks dark. Well, it is dark, I guess. That's better. So we have this much done on her. This is a Raging Heroes model, right? Sibstorm? The paint won't hold for long. Oh, yeah. Well, if I don't touch the face, then that paint will be there for a long time. It's only the body it's only the face I'd be painting. I wouldn't be painting the body. So this is how far I've got on the Raging Heroes model, and you can see that I've done some work on it. On the skin, especially, and on the dress. So she is a bit further along. The dress where it fades to purple needs a little bit of work. That needs to be cleaned up a bit. The staff, I started painting the gem. Well, I painted the gem. So there's a gem there. Why is it? It's not focused. Okay, so there's a gem there. This gem. Her skin. That's better. And the roses are going to be sort of a pinkish color. So she has a rose at her belt and little roses down here, and then the roses down here. And then the birds are going to be black. And thank you, brush guy. I had a lot of fun with the fabric. I had a lot of fun with the skin. The skin and fabric are 2 things that I love to paint. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's something I've done a lot of. Like, I am less comfortable with armor because I don't paint armor as often. I paint a lot of skin and cloth. Brush guy says, I like skin too. Uh-huh. Did I read that right? Did I put the right intonation in that sentence? I feel like I did. Paint. Oh, paint you mean. Uh-huh. Paint. Okay, so here's the paladin. And he's got blue and gold and yellow happening. So you can see the difference between this yellow and the gold color, I hope. I hope you can see that difference. This one is a much warmer orangey color, and this one leans more towards green. It's got armor on. You can't tell if it's a male or female. There's no genitalia hanging out to differentiate one from another. So it absolutely could go either way. It has long hair. It has ears. Honestly, covered in armor. Covered in armor. Does it need boobs? I mean, Does the armor need to be jutting out at the top of the chest? I mean, I don't feel like it, but it all depends on whose model it's gonna be. I'll send you pictures, and then you'll be able to tell. And then there's this one, the floating girl. I get a lot done on that one too. I wanted to do a pattern on the outside of this. So there's going to be kind of some sort of pattern inspired by the artwork that Sibstorm sent me. Sibstorm says Raging Heroes just did a paladin theme for the month of July. Ah, so you're thinking you might get one of those. Well, you know, we love Raging Heroes. They do amazing work. Mo's Magic says, it is coming at you with a sword drawn. What gender is the least of your worries? It's true. It's true. You can't see what's going on between the legs. You can't see what's going on under the chest armor. Or behind the shield. You're right, Captain Mizzy. What gender are you? Pirate? No. What's in your pants? A cannon. Ah, the Missy thing from Doctor Who, that was classic. That was classic. So we're going to put both of our yellows out here. Because why not? I'm still not entirely certain what I'm going to be working on. Of these 4 models, which thing I'm going to be working on. Alright, so I have yellow and yellow. Purple? Sure. If we do some non-metallic gold here, that might be fun. Or non-metallic steel also could be fun. Now we have all the colors blocked in. We know that there's going to be a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow reflected on the blade of the sword because it's shiny, which is a good reason to paint, you know, different parts of the model all together so that they can play off of each other. You could hardly, I can't talk. You could hardly paint the reflected light off of one surface if you don't know what color it is yet. Of course, if you paint like me, that's how it is. You don't know what color it's going to be. Other people might have an actual plan when they're painting their miniatures. So clear blue or clear phthalo blue. I think it was just clear blue that I was using. And phthalo green. Or was it clear green? Wait, hold on. It's my palette that I was using the last time I was painting. This is not a wet palette. This is one of my old, see the glossiness here, the sort of waxy surface. This is part of a piece of disposable palette paper. And that's how I used to paint all the time, was on just palette paper, not with a wet palette. And I had already put away my wet palette because I was going on vacation, but I wanted to paint that night. So That's regular green, not phthalo green. So now we know. Misco. We have a Misco here. Misco says hydrate. This is my water, Misco. But now I feel like I need tea. This is my Earl Grey. Hot. This is my water. This is my wine. Just, I know heresy drinking tea right after the water. I only did it because I knew it would upset you. Okay, so let's see. We got purple, teal. So I did use just clear green. Makes sense since you're a Muppet. That is correct, Miss Go. I am, in fact, a Muppet. Oh, hey, y'all. Tonight, Big Jim Slade Gaming is doing a real estate stream. And that means we are going to gather in his Discord, a few of us, and we are going to mock real estate ads. Maybe that sounds boring, but we laugh a lot while we're doing that. It's funny. And I'm looking forward to it because it has been more than a month, maybe 2 months, since the last time we did a real estate stream. Misko says Muppet in Swedish is mupp. Is it because they just can't be bothered to say the et? Are they lazy? Are they lazy in Sweden? They just don't want to put that extra syllable on it? Do they say moop? I mean, you say Muppet. Because you call me Muppet all the time. Because you're mean. Orange? I don't think I'll put the orange out on the palette yet. You're not mean. You're nice. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. Missy, Missy, that's brilliant. We should ask the Swedish chef. He would know. Mm-hmm. I need some white out here on the palette. I see. We are not using a clear paint. We are not even using a Reaper paint at all for the white. We are using Utrecht Pure Polymer Artist Color. Titanium white. So let's just get some of that out on the palette there. It's thick. You can see how those paints just sort of bead up, and this paint is kind of, you can tell it's thick. There's a lot more body than these other paints. But we're not just painting only white. White is only used to mix with other colors, except for when I'm doing the final highlights on my metallic steel, non-metallic steel. No brush guy. That's not allowed. I'm sorry. There is no leaving. There's no leaving the Cathy stream. Ever. Ever. Sorry. Not sorry. I mean, if you must. If you must go to bed, I understand. Have a good night. Schlaf gut, real brush guy. Red. I knew there was a color I was there. Red and magenta have not yet made it onto my palette. I know you would stay if only you could. If you didn't get up at stupid o'clock in the morning and now it's stupid o'clock at night. Because time zones suck. So yeah, I totally forgot to put red and magenta on my palette, and I know that's heresy. That is complete heresy. And I feel like V is probably out playing with the puppy, paying attention to puppy things, or she would have been aghast. She would have been shocked to know that I did not put magenta out on my palette, basically as the very first thing I did. Good night, brush guy. Süße Traumen. Misko says, not like I can stand being here for long since Cathy is also here. Yeah, it's a trade-off. There's painting, there's miniatures, but there's also Cathy. So I can understand that, Misko. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yes. Okay. We were going to do some non-metallic metal type stuff on here. First, we need to mix colors. I have my crappy mixing brush right here. And what I need to do is mix a dark color. It's always the thing we start out with is mixing a dark color. And let us mix our dark color with phthalo blue using a bit of phthalo blue and some red and some green. Green. Hello. Green. Misko's helping with the colors. Splash. If only color would actually come out of. Oh, this is almost empty, I think. I'm gonna have to get more. I'm gonna have to get more clear green out here. Well, I think I have it up. Do I have more over here? Let's take a trip around the paint carousel. Yep. Brand new clear green. That's why one should use buckets instead, yes. make sure that I don't have any green on my fingers. Because we all know how fun it is when you transfer unexpected paint from your fingers to your models, right? I have never done that. Have I? Ever? Never. Never ever. Alright, so I am mixing these 4 colors together. That was the phthalo blue, red, green. Actually, that's only 3 colors. So, red, green, and phthalo blue. The only 3 colors I've used on this. Misko says, slaps hand on table where the paint is and then puts the hand in Cathy's face. Why would you do that? Why? So mean. So mean. Okay. Now I'm going to make gray. I have my dark color, as you can see. It's a little bit on the green side. So maybe I'll put a little bit more blue in it. A drop. Just a drop. See what happens. We shall see. It's still just as dark. So this is the color we have. It looks more blue on my hand than it does on my monitor. I don't know what it looks like to you, but it's more blue on my hand than it is on my monitor. It looks black to you? Good. You know what it almost is? It's almost indigo. Like Indigo Montoya, You Killed My Father, Prepare to Die blue, my oil paint color. That is what it looks like. And I want to take some white. And I want to take some of this dark color and mix it with that white, and that makes gray. And this is what we do for non-metallic metals when you don't have black or gray. This is how we do it. You know what? You need new glasses. You're right. I do need new glasses. That's not a lie. I absolutely do. Misko is always right. Misko is always right. Alright, so I have gray, I have dark gray, I have dark, and I have white. So I think I'm ready for some non-metallic metal. The smile, yes. See, we're only an hour in. And I'm already gonna put some paint on this model. Don't tell V. It's only taken me an hour. So we're good. What? Paint? Occasionally? Occasionally I do paint minis. Occasionally. When I get around to it. It's true. So, also, on the underside of this sword, I feel like there has to be blue and yellow, sort of in my shading and highlighting, as if it's reflecting the ambient color, you know, well, as light bounces off of these and then hits the sword, if that makes sense. So a little bit of yellow and a bit of white and a bit of gray together. I add a little of my gray, my dark color to that. So it's going to be gray, but it's going to be tinted a bit with yellow. Or I can also, alternatively, just water down some yellow a little bit and tint the surface of the sword with a very thin filter of yellow. Or I could do both. I believe I had a touch of green mixed in with the blue. Yeah. So these two colors, this sort of greeny blue and this yellow with gray, they both have that same dark color mixed in with them. And they'll be on the underside of this as we go. Let's throw a little bit of highlight on here though. Oh, maybe I don't want this brush. Maybe I want this brush. Maybe I want my natural hairbrush. This is a sable brush. I don't know the quality. It was just like it was a cheap sable, and I wanted to try it out just to see. Just to see. So we're going to get some white on the tip here. And I just wanted to put some white on the, see, it's already messed up. It's the thing with sable brushes. I just don't know how to use them right. Like, I spend so much time using synthetic brushes, and you use them a different way than you use sable brushes. Okay, this is good. Okay, getting a handle on that. I don't use them very often, so I forget the ways in which they differ. And it's something to keep in mind when you move from using synthetic brushes to using sable brushes. Because I spent so many years using my synthetic. I think I got that. I just built up all these habits, and you need to break some of those habits if you want to use a sable brush. And I keep forgetting that because I don't use them all the time. And when I've been using them with oil paints, well, that is a whole different sort of a thing. And I feel like I'm out of focus. That's better. And with white, I think I need to rinse my brush more often with white, because white, it just seems to dry faster everywhere on the model, in the bristles, in the in the ink lines on your printer. You say, but wait, Cathy, there is no white on a printer. But when I was doing direct to garment printing, we had 2 white ink lines for printing white onto dark fabrics. So that's just how it worked. And those white ink lines, they would get clogged all the time. You would have to take apart the whole print head to unclog them. And what a big pain in the ass that was. You can print it white, just, yes, you can. You can print, yeah, it is with direct to garment printing too, because it's such a hassle. Kind of like you are. Wait, what? Wait, kind of like I am, what, a hassle? A pain in the ass? Ah, well, that's true. Ask my dad. He would tell you the same thing. All right. So, where do I want my light reflections? Do I want one here? I want one here. And then maybe another one down here. And then in between here is going to be a little darker. This blood groove, the top of it, I feel like I need something here. What I think I need is more moisture in my brush with a sable brush. I wish I still had Pascal here, because he uses sable brushes all the time, and I could ask him. I think you just need to have your bristles more moist with a sable brush. And that's all there is to it. I think we're headed in the right direction, though. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And got some blue. We're going to throw some of this blue on the blade in a couple different places. And now I'm looking at it like, ooh, this might dry because I have fans going because it's hot here. It is 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius right here in this room. So it's a bit warm. Yeah, it's a bit warm. And we want some of that yellow here somewhere. So we do have both the yellow and blue now on this part of the sword. Like it is kind of reflecting subtly. It's a subtle thing. We haven't done our darkest dark on this yet. And we still have just some grays, some values to put in there. And I have to constantly be reminding myself to leave water in the bristles and not. If I was using one of my synthetic brushes, I would be soaking most of the water out of the bristles. But that doesn't work with the sable brush so much. So we're learning. We're all learning together. I feel like I want some of that blue right here because I think this part of the sword might be reflecting off of the cloak too. So I'm just looking for places where this color might be reflecting right now. It's kind of the same principle as object source lighting. It's just a lot more subtle. We'll bring this up onto the gold as well, right there. Maybe we get our darkest color in here now. And we always, Well, I always like to say that there's a lot of back and forth with non-metallic metal. People often don't want to do it because they feel like if they screw a thing up, they'll have to do it over. But there's just a lot of back and forth, so you just have to know you're going to be doing covering up things. So I'm going to be covering up some of the blue that I put on here. But it's building up the some layers, building up some values. I'm going to be smoothing a transition from this dark color that I just put on here into where the white is there. And then in between those, so there's this little white area and this white area of reflection. In between those is where I'm going to put my dark. And we'll be smoothing that transition out on those as well. It's almost like a triangle, so I have a light, and then down here I have a light. It's not, this down here on the underside is never going to be as bright as the ones on the top. And then I have a dark, and then I have a dark, two darks on the bottom, so it's almost like a little triangle. Now on the inside part, I don't know if I'll do it that way. Because it only occurred to me, just as I was talking about it, that that's kind of what I do, is have that sort of little triangle. I've never really thought about and explained it. So that was kind of a new thing for me. Just trying to think about and explain it to somebody else. It's part of why I've never taught, because thinking about my process and then trying to explain it to somebody else has been difficult for me. I'm not a natural teacher. Some people are just really good at it. All right, so getting my dark in there, and of course that dark now has to be smoothed out so that it looks like a smooth transition between the darkest color and the lightest color. And that's what our grays are for. We have this light gray now. Kind of a transition between white and dark. I also have this darker gray here in case I need it. Or I may use my blue or my yellow. This is the thing with steel, is it's not just going to be black and white and shades of gray. It's not going to be monochromatic. You think of it as being like that, but it really isn't out in the world. It's always reflecting its surroundings. And I can see I'm just going to be doing a little bit of back and forth here. So we have my dark gray, and then my darkest color. We'll go to the blue. The blue is kind of a mid-tone value. I wanted a little bit of blue reflecting. And a little yellow. And we can still put a tiny bit of white reflection right in the middle of where that lightest part is going to be. Of course, I have shadows being cast on it from other parts of the model, so it's hard to see. I definitely need another light that kind of is right above me, I think. This is another reason I kind of wanted my gray to be not just black and white mixed together, because it has these other colors in it that I've used on other parts of the model. So we need more white. And this is a bit watered down, so I can thin it out at the edges and let the gray show through it, which is a good way to get that smooth look to it without actually using wet blending. It's just another way to make the colors look smooth. Now I've got a little wet blending going here too. I'm doing both things. A little glazing, a little wet blending. A lighter gray color right here. I still feel like I want some blue. Hey, Nosferatu. Thank you. Thank you for that. How are you? I heard you were taking on some water over there in Ohio, which is never fun, and I know you know what our situation was. I felt bad for you. It's like all of us in the Midwest got just dumped on, completely dumped on. It was nuts. Water blown out. Oh, I heard about the blown out tire. Oh man, that's scary. Sweating to death. Yeah, that's me right now. Well, not to death, but yeah, it's warm. I didn't even want to put this shirt on, and there's almost nothing to it. So I'm just doing a little bit of non-metallic metal right now. How's your day been? Are things looking up since those stacking catastrophes? I hope. Trying to figure out where my lights and darks are. I've painted over something, so I had to touch up some things because that's always how it is. That's just how it works. There's no mistakes, but there's always touching up. That's just a part of painting. Well, there are mistakes, like if you drop your model in your paint water, or if you drop your model in your uh, palette in your paint. If you drop your model on the floor and crush it, those are accidents. Getting paint where it doesn't belong on the model, though, just a little brush stroke here and there, that is not the end of the world. Very easy to fix. Very easy to fix. Hey, Jarrett. How are you? Nosferatu says, yeah, these last 2 weeks have been a zinch. Oh, yeah, I feel that. I was on vacation, and so I didn't stream at all last week, and that's why, now you know. If you didn't know before, I I drove to Minnesota to stay at my mom and dad's for a week. I got to hang out with my sister who lives there, and like every day before she went to work, we would just sit at the table. We had breakfast. I mean, not like big make cook a breakfast. I had my oatmeal like I have every day all the time, so nothing changed. She had whatever it is that she eats in the morning. Jarrett, guess what? Guess what, Jarrett? I We got to meet Vlieger Dragon in person. We were together in the same place, Vlieger Dragon and I. We walked her dog around the park, around the lake, and it was a lot of fun. We got rained on. We got poured on. So, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And not only did I get to meet B for the very first time in person, so now we're like real friends, not just online friends. I got to meet a couple of friends of mine for brunch at a place, which was nice. And then, totally spontaneously, I got to hang out with my comrade from high school, my best friend in high school. And of course, in high school, the two of us just called each other comrade all the time because we were little commies. And we kind of still are. Misko is going to eat and nap. Thank you for being here, Misko. Even though you are mean, don't forget to hydrate. And goat not. Goat not. Not? See, I don't know. This is Swedish. Goat not. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. Nosferatu says good life is starting to get back to normal. Well, it never gets back to normal. There's no such thing. But I'm glad it seems to be stabilizing. I was very happy to be back into my old routine. Oh. That's the last of my water. Thank you, Misko. So I have a light color going down. I'm imagining a line going down this, going down that, down that, down the whole arm. This sort of line here. So like there's this line right here. It goes down like this, catches that, and hits this down here. It kind of curves as the arm curves a little bit. See it? And that's what you want to do with non-metallic metal is find, imagine where the light's going to go. There's no set formula, really. It's all just random and it's eyeballing it. And that's why it can be difficult for people who want a formula. There, and there's nothing wrong with metallic paints. I have just been painting with non-metallic metals for so long, I don't even know how to paint with metallic paints. Like, I I have painted with them. Occasionally I return to that, but I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't feel comfortable with them. It's like with oils, I still don't feel very comfortable with them. Can I use them? Can I eventually make something look good given time? Sure. but it probably takes me longer. I'm definitely not as comfortable. So that's me with metallic paints. It is out of my comfort level, my comfort zone. And that's why I do NMM. Well, I have another spot where I can throw some blue here. Ooh, let's get a little bit more white here, a little bit more green. My color is sitting on the palette here. You know, it's a wet palette, but it dries out. It does, depending on what you're doing. It really will. Slowly, so slowly. I keep hitting these. Move over. I keep landing my brush on the brushes that are sitting here on my table, so I had to just move those away. So let's get this white. Let's look at other parts. The other arm, the shield. So we got that line of white there. And before we start messing around with other values, let us go to other parts and get our white reflection blocked in. Like on these crazy little wings. Such a weird little detail, these little wings. Now how do I want the light to be on this? Do I want it to just go down this side in a line? I guess. I am uncertain whether this is gonna work or not. I don't know. But that's pretty much how non-metallic metals is. I think most people that do it, that's what's going on in their head. They may not say it out loud because they, you know, I mean, they're competent and everything, so they're not gonna say out loud that they're just not sure something's gonna work. I, on the other hand, am okay with people knowing that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, it's like everything is a practice. Everything I do is practice for the next thing. So I don't always know what I'm doing. I don't know 100% if something is gonna work. But you just have to try it. You just have to do it. And if it doesn't work, you just do it over. Like the skin on my Warcry models. Oh my god. I tried doing that sort of what do they call it? Verta. It's a green. like it's a green undertone to the skin, so you put the green on first before you put your skin tone on. Hey, Queez! Cathy is back. Yes. How are you, Queez? I feel like I should have done like an Instagram post or something. Hey, Cathy's back from, you know, exile in Minnesota. It wasn't exile. It was fantastic. I had a fantastic time hanging out with my mom and my dad and my sister. I got to see my brother for a little bit. I sat in the backyard and absorbed sun, and I absorbed all the trees that were around and all the birds that were singing. There were a ton of these little red-capped woodpeckers that were, I mean, they're not red-headed woodpeckers because the pileated woodpeckers are huge and kind of look like pterodactyls, and red-headed woodpeckers are much bigger, and downy woodpeckers are bigger. These were small, but they would come up to the bird feeder, and their wings made a sound. Like, I'm not used to, when birds fly, you don't always hear their wings. Like hummingbirds, they kind of almost, well, they hum. And you almost think it's a giant bee. These didn't do that. They had this sort of fluttery sound. It's just the darndest thing. And all the bird song. And I saw the black-capped chickadees. I saw the Cardinals. I saw Blue Jays, all the baseball teams. I saw hawks, uh, woodpeckers, of course. There were squirrels because, squirrels, of course. What else did I see? Deer. I saw deer. I was driving back from, I think, my visit with V, and just a few blocks away from my mom and dad's house, we all had to slow down because there was a deer, a doe, a deer, a female deer, and her baby fawn, Bambi, going across the road, just sauntering across the road. Deer and baby deer. It was adorable. So, yeah, Minnesota. Not like Chicago. Although, my tree in the front yard, my one tree, uh, it has a squirrel nest in it. So that makes me happy. Like, there's a squirrel that has built their home in my tree, and that makes me happy. And I feel like my tree has finally reached adulthood because of that. All right, so how do I want my reflections on the shield to be? Do I just want it sort of straight down like this? Well, I'm doing it, so that must be the way I want it, right? We'll do that on both sides. So this is going to be non-metallic gold. I'll just hit the edge of this part. And this part, don't want to forget about that. We'll be doing the same thing on the shield as we did on the sword and all of the armor. We're going to just be blending back and forth. from light to dark to light to dark to light to dark to light. However many times it takes us until we're satisfied with how smooth the transitions look between the light and the dark. Queez says, we mostly see deer. We were at the lake cottage last weekend and saw birds, but I don't know what. There used to be a peacock that wandered around. Oh, you're guessing something ate him? Well, that's possible, yeah. Wild dogs, coyotes, wolves. And by wild dogs, I just mean like domestic dogs that are feral. Because I don't know if you have those in Michigan. In Texas, I know that's a real problem because people will just, if they don't like their dog or they can't hang on to their dog, they'll just let it loose and they'll just let it go. They take it out to the country and dump it, which is just the cruelest thing you can do for a dog, because other dogs that have been able to survive will kill it. If it manages to survive without starving or being killed, then it's just going to be one of the dogs that terrorizes other dogs. It's really sad, but they have a problem, a big problem with that in Texas. Hey, Art of Mike Disney. How are you, Mike? So good to see you. How have you been? Mike says, who's in Michigan? Oh, Queez. I thought Queez was in Michigan. I mean, I could be mistaken. I have no... Wait, are you guys in Pennsylvania? I don't even know. Someplace where there's woods and it's east of here. That's all I know. They have woods and deer. They live east of us somewhere. I know that doesn't narrow it down much. It's true. I do lump you guys together. I do. Mike, I had an entire week. I drove up to Minnesota, which is where I grew up, and spent a whole week hanging out with my family and meeting up with friends. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I got back on Thursday night. Yeah, so I did my Friday reading stream. And it was fun. It really was. So good to see you. The Northeast, smack dab in the middle of New York City and Philly, between New York City and Philadelphia. I've been to Pittsburgh. I'm trying to think of places I've been in Pennsylvania. I drove through Pennsylvania in the middle of the night trying to get from Toronto to Rhode Island. If you can imagine that, in the middle of the night. So I was going through Pennsylvania the long way, like widthwise. It's the never-ending state, second only to driving widthwise across Texas. Toronto was awesome. I didn't get to go downtown much. I was out there for the Ontario Renaissance Festival, only for a couple of weeks before the Maryland Fair started, and babysitting for my friend's little baby who is now an adult. Because it was a long time ago. A long, long time ago. Because the Ontario Renaissance Festival hasn't been around for a long, long time. Queez says pretty much 81 takes us from PA to Art of Mike Disney. It's a lot of trees. And then flatter trees. Flatter trees? I liked Pittsburgh. I was only there for a weekend for work. I was working a convention, but it seemed nice. They had some little art festival. It was like a farmer's market only with artists. And there was some really cool stuff there. And that was my impression of Pittsburgh. Otherwise, I was just working. I don't think I've ever been to Philly. So this is like two little bird heads facing each other. I like to think of it as a two-headed phoenix. I have no idea what it's supposed to be, but that's how it is in my mind's eye. It's like, see two birds kissing right there? Hey, Trash Panda. Asmo says, can I be done with work meetings today? Yes, Asmo, you can. You absolutely can. You have my permission. And aren't you leaving tomorrow or something? Aren't you heading off to the great big other place now soon? Queez says Philly is my favorite. I think you'd love it. I would have to have the Philly cheesesteak if I'm in Philly. Duh, right? Because I feel like that's the thing you have to do there. Kind of like eating pizza in Chicago or New York. I've had pizza in New York and I loved it. And I've had pizza in Chicago and I loved it. I'm kind of an equal opportunity, giant thin crust pizza where you've got a huge rectangular slab and you basically just fold it over and eat it like a taco. Hey, Legionnaires. Cleve says it's a big city, but it feels small and calm. Has amazing food and museums. That's how I feel about Minneapolis. I mean, it's not a huge city. Like, right now, I live in Chicago. That's a big city. Minneapolis seemed like a big city to me when I lived there a million years ago. But now it feels much smaller. That's perspective, I guess. Legionnaire says, so when do we get Cathy playing Mech Warrior now that Gonzo has? Probably never. Probably never. I would consider streaming, I don't know, Valheim. Maybe. Maybe. I haven't even played that in weeks. Months, even. It's been a while. Asmo says, I'll probably be missing for a few days next week. Well, that's understandable, and I hope everything goes smoothly for you. My best wishes for what it's worth. Zipstorm says, Cathy, I DM'd you in Discord an image of what I'm probably going to send you. Okay, cool. Asmo says, not sure when my internet is supposed to be set up at the new house yet either. Oh, well. Ugh. Now, is that going to just be like cable internet, the normal like cable internet kind of thing? And they just come in and install that, and then you plug your modem in, and then you troubleshoot all the things that are going wrong because that's just how it works. It can never be a seamless thing without problems. What am I even doing here now? I'm using white. I'm trying to think and talk my way through doing non-metallic metal and realize that I'm not so good at explaining it. So, but so this is where we are so far. I have to smooth out values between lights and darks and so forth. I think we're getting there though with the non-metallic metal. We're getting there. Legionnaire says, just before you left, I started trying to move my hobby space. It's going painfully slow. It took me an entire week of constant work to move my hobby space from just that side of the room to this side of the room. A whole week. I took a break from streaming because I just needed that time of the day in order to be moving things around and stuff. And it still took me that long. So I can understand that. Asmo says, well, the only internet available is through the power company, but it's fiber. I know they pulled the line to the local hub, but I haven't heard anything about the build out to the house yet. Ugh. So uncertain. I hate that uncertainty. Drives me nuts. I want things to be certain. I don't like not knowing. I'm sure you're probably the same. I think most people are. Most people don't like not knowing what's going on. Oh, that's going to be yellow. So there's going to be yellow on this, and there's going to be gold. Which, it's so gold and yellow, which means that I have two different yellows, and I have to make them look different enough so that there's a contrast between my two yellows. So that should be an interesting challenge. I don't think I've ever done yellow and non-metallic gold in the same thing. But the scabbard had to be yellow. I suppose it could have been blue, but then the scabbard being blue would not have contrasted with the blue tabard. So, yeah, there is a lot to think about there. Legionnaire says, still no donate button to stop Gonzo being weird on mobile. Yeah, the mobile app is awful, Legionnaires. That's just Twitch. The Twitch mobile app sucks. There's a lot of things. Like, you can't do the charity donation stuff from the mobile app. You can't do community challenge stuff from the mobile app. It's there's quite a bit of stuff that you can't do. And isn't fiber supposed to be the new hotness, says Captain Mizzy. Legionnaire says, but they're rolling out fiber really slow in some parts of the US. So I'm going to try and get the white down on all this NMM before I stop. So we're just going to do the same thing we did on this side, where we've got this line going across the shoulder. I never did the light highlight on this wing detail. And we're going to have another little line going down this side of this armor. So the middle part, there's a line going down the middle, which is what I should have done. Line going down the middle, fading to the left. I mean the right. I mean your left and his right, her right. And then this one down this side. Oh, she's got leg armor. So again, there's a little line going up the shoe, up the armor. Kind of like it's just a line, see? And then up there. And then the part in the back. And I guess there's like a leather, so there's a buckle here, and I guess there's maybe a leather thing that goes back there. This one, barely see it. And then I remembered the gold here. Oh, that's going to be leather. Oh my goodness. And this is going to be gold. I was going to work on this last night in our in the Pyro Club paint night, but then, you know, time got away from me, and all of a sudden I would have had to spend time setting up my wet palette, and by then, you know, I would have had to go to bed. So I said, nope, I didn't paint at all. I just hung out in the chat and talked, which is fine. All right, I think I'm good with my white for now. We all know that with non-metallic metal, there's going to be some back and forth. Why is this so dark looking? So weird. Like my camera just starts making things darker all of a sudden. It's just the oddest thing. As I'm streaming, my image will get darker and darker, it seems like. So I just pumped up the brightness. But hey, it's 5 o'clock and Trashorama just showed up, so see ya. Hey Trash. Is this the world famous Cathy Wappel? I am not certain, Trashorama. I don't feel like it is the world famous Cathy Wappel. This is the other Cathy Wappel. This is Best Wappel. I don't know that she's world famous though. Sibstorm says we had AT&T some into the office to sell us fiber. They said they would match Spectrum Enterprise. Then they told us we'd have to get a landline for $150 so they could access the equipment if it goes down. Who even does that anymore besides my mom and dad? Who even? Who? Sibstorm says, I already told them I was ecstatic with Spectrum Enterprise and they'd have to really wow me to move. That's yes. Yeah, Quee, sometimes it is good just to hang out and chat. That's for true. Trash says, oh no, I'm getting the F out of here then. Yeah. Yeah, only the famous one. I totally understand Trashorama. You don't want any pretenders to that. You only want the famous one. I'm Best Wappel, but it's not really famous. They go down to the grocery store, they know me, but that's pretty much it. And it's only because, we go there all the time. Not famous. Now, if I was at the grocery store and a total stranger came up to me and said, "Hey, are you Cathy Wappel, the miniature painter?" Then I'd be like, "What? How?" Then I might maybe think I'm famous. But you're famous. Oh, thanks, Storm. I'm famous to you. That's so nice. Well, let's go raid somebody. It's like we haven't done that in forever because I haven't been here for a week. It just seems like forever. So who? Yeah, let's just we'll throw some love Trouble's way, I think. Good night, Queeze. Let's raid Trouble. And Trouble is painting miniatures. She just started streaming today. I mean, this isn't her first stream, but she just went live, is what I'm trying to say. And underscore. And I think that's right. Hooray! Be sure and say hello to N Trouble in her chat and give her a follow if you're not following her already. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out here with me while I'm painting. I appreciate it. And I'll be doing this again tomorrow starting at 3 p.m. Central, so tune in and we'll do more distraction and painting and all that. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.